DC, Dark Dove, back with you on this Friday evening. Another weekend, another vinyl update. So I'll get straight into things. The latest release from the VC's own Dereck Higgins, and this is Myths and Realities. This arrived last week. This is the European edition, which came from Greece. Beautifully packaged album. Lovely laminated sleeve, and that is a great cover, which was actually taken by Dereck himself. Looks like Europe, maybe Germany. Yeah, a lot of people have shown this already, but yeah, look at that. That's, yeah. So it's a beautiful looking album, but it's actually musically it's very different to Dereck's last couple of releases. As most of you are probably aware, it's archive material, recorded from the 90s, 1993 up to 2009, and a couple of individual tracks from 85. Also comes with this CD and in fact record sticker. Only numbered actually. Which number is? Oh yeah, it's one of 100, and mine is number 17. But as I was saying, musically this is quite different from Dereck's last couple of releases. A lot of it is guitar based, and as a few people have already pointed out, it is quite reminiscent of the Duretti column. I thought that's the impression I got anyway. Yeah, this is you know, Dereck it keeps on delivering. Very hard working man in the music industry. So this is an excellent album, and another great release from Dereck. So I've got a lot of stuff to show now. So a lot of this stuff I've had for months, and I've meant to show in previous videos, but I left it out because I'm afraid basically of the video running too long. But let's just flake straight into it. First three items I'm going to show are in the folk genre. So this is by Bert Jansch. No, this is the most expensive item I'm going to show you today, because I paid quite a bit for this. Okay, so this was originally released in 1965. This isn't a first pressing, but it is an early press on the transatlantic label. The first pressing would have had a slightly different, smaller transatlantic logo, but as you can see, a former owner wrote their name and date on the back, 1968. I'm not sure the exact year of release, but I'd say it could quite possibly be 1968, alright. So I would probably be around the time this came out. So yeah, so this is a groundbreaking album. It contains some of his really seminal songs, such as Angie and Needle of Death. This was actually reissued recently as part of Record Store Day, but this is not first pressing, but probably a second pressing. So Bert Jansch, self-titled on Transatlantic. Now this is this next item is also a record store day release. This isn't an original, because the original of this goes for insane money. So this is Anne Briggs, self-titled album on Topic, which originally came out in 1971. So this is the record store day release from this year. Meant to grab this on RSD day, but I was a bit low on funds at the time, but this is still there in like a few weeks later, so I grabbed it. Yeah, so this is she's an absolutely great vocalist, Anne Briggs, English singer. She's I think she was kind of associated with Irish folk singer Johnny Moynihan at the time, and I think he's on this. Actually, is he on this? Yes, he is on this. He plays the bouzouki. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It's a Greek instrument, but we will be hearing more from him later on in this update. That's Anne Briggs on Topic. Next up is something which Ben Costello, you've been plugging this very steadily in the VC. This is The Gloaming. This is getting its first release on vinyl. It actually came out about 2 years ago on CD, but it's recently been reissued on vinyl. So I got this from the official website, Real World Records, and this is actually missing a couple of, as you point out, this is actually missing a couple of tracks from the CD. So I'd probably advise anybody to get the CD, because it is missing a couple of, quite long instrumental tracks. This is missing them. I mean, probably be better off grabbing the CD, I think. Moving on now. Speaking of CDs, this is something I got on Discogs. This is Vakula, a Voyage to A Voyage to Arcturus, and this is a release from this year, from 2015. Arcturus is a Ukrainian DJ. I can't recall his real name. I'm not even sure if it's on here. But this is available as well on vinyl, a triple vinyl, but which is very, very expensive. And even this CD, to buy it new, it also seems to go for quite big money. But luckily I spotted a second-hand copy on Discogs by a new seller who claimed that it had only been played once, and so I got it for around €15. Including postage. I'm not sure. Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, I think it was 15 in total, including postage. But yeah, so it's very hard to find. It seems to be a private pressing, but basically it's kind of very much reminiscent of work of Klaus Schulze. This kind of 70s spacey kind of krautrock. It's actually based. Voyage to Arcturus, it's actually based on a sci-fi novel from the 20s. I just can't recall at the moment who it's by, but so well worth checking out. The vinyl seems to be very expensive, so probably best to try and go for the CD if you can come across it. Now I made a few. Okay, just first off, popped into a local record store about 2 weeks ago, and came across two items which were big on my want list. And I ended up getting the two of them for €20, so they were €10 each. First off, Roxy Music, self-titled debut on Island. This is really needs no introduction. This album, there's Eno and all the gang. This is an original UK pressing on the Pink Rim Island label. It's in really fantastic condition, both the sleeve and the and it also has the original inner blue bag. I got it along with another item that was on my want list, and that is Japan, oil on canvas. So this is a posthumous release that came out in '83. It's got a mixture of live and studio tracks. It's a double album. On Virgin, and so yeah, so I was very pleased to get two of these for a tenner each, because generally these two records, I've seen them around. They generally tend to go for quite a bit more than that whenever I've seen them in the wild. So very pleased with that double pickup. Roxy Music. Finally have this in my hands after a long time, and Japan, oil on canvas. Okay, so three items which I got. I've sold some stuff recently on Discogs, and with the money I made three purchases. All three purchases are they're items which are kind of in the modern classical genre. First off, this is by Terry Riley, and this is in C, which was the first, if I'm not mistaken, I think it might have been the first of his works to be released on record. Composed in the early 60s, and this version was recorded in 1968. This is a US release, but I got it from a seller in Edinburgh in Scotland. So the postage was fairly cheap. This is quite different to a Rainbow and Curve there. It's not quite as say trippy or psychedelic or spacey as that particular work, but it is a groundbreaking piece, beautiful piece of music, and basically consists of two long tracks covering both sides. Where was this recorded? Present recording was made for Columbia by the composer and an unusual ensemble. The New Music Center in Buffalo, which is in New York State, I think. So there we go. Terry Riley in C. Now something which is kind of in a similar kind of a vein. This is Philip Glass. Glassworks from 1982. This is probably one of his best known pieces, I think. Even if you haven't heard of this, you will probably have heard this music, because it's been used quite a lot in used quite a lot in films and documentaries, and I think TV. So this is a Dutch pressing. I got this from a seller in Germany. It's an absolutely. He said that it had never been played, and I think, and definitely that is the case, because I think, you know, it's in absolutely mint condition. Yeah, I think you can almost certainly say that it has never been played. Now the next item is a bit of an unusual one. Now again, this is kind of in the modern classical scheme of things, but this is by somebody who's more well known for his work in the line of Irish traditional music, and that is Sean O Riada. And this is a release called The Vertical Man, which came out in 1969. That's Sean O Riada there. 1969, so 2 years before his death. He died at the young age of 41. He was from my neck of the woods. He's associated primarily with here in Cork City. This is on Clada Records. Basically, yes. So he was associated primarily with Irish traditional music, with his work on you know, the orchestration of founding Gael Lynn Records and launching the career of the Chieftains. But this is kind of more in the European classical tradition. Features Bernadette Greevy, contralto, and these are compositions which he did based on poems, mainly by Irish writers like Sheehy, etc., but also by Holderlin, a German poet, and Hans Arp, who was Austrian, I think. It's absolutely beautiful looking sleeve, by the way. I love that that cover image, and it's in absolutely perfect condition as well. I think this has barely been played, and whoever had it beforehand really looked after, because it's the sleeve and everything is in perfect condition. Okay, moving on. I visited the hometown of Mr. Costello last weekend. Now, myself and my other half, we stayed there for the weekend. We're on a little bit of a holiday, but we actually missed Ben, because he was actually he was going on a bit of a holiday himself with his other half and his kids. So I missed him. But I did call into the milk market to the in Limerick, and picked up a few items from our good friend Doc, who Ben and myself have bought records from quite a lot. Did a good bit of browsing and came up. This was one of the first things I came across. This is Vanilla Fudge, with their self-titled album from 1967. This is an original pressing on the Plum Atlantic label. Kevin Strange, I have a funny feeling you might have this. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. So Vanilla Fudge, this is nice psychedelic rock, very organ based. There's a lot of heavy use of organ in this, consisting pretty much almost entirely of cover versions, as you can see there. record itself is in nice condition. A little bit of crackle here and there, nothing too serious, and the sleeve has a bit of, I don't know, there's like sellotape or something on it, which is discoloured, but the cover image isn't too badly affected. So vanilla fudge. Now I got 3 items in total from Doc. Next up, the Groundhogs with Split. This is, I think, their 4th album. Originally came out in 1970. This is a reissue on BGO Records. I'm not sure the exact release date of this. Probably the 1990s, maybe late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, this is an incredible album. There's some fantastic guitar work here from Tony McPhee. So basically very stripped down guitar, bass and drums. So the 3-man outfit, but they make quite, this is really, really great heavy blues rock from the Groundhogs. Third item I got, a bit of an interesting story here. This is Planxty. Planxty, the seminal Irish folk rock outfit, and there is Johnny Moynihan, whom I was speaking about earlier, who was on the Anne Briggs album. Yes, he's on this as well. You may notice this here, PR. Yes, this does come from that big hall down in Kerry, because Doc, who I bought this off, got to us before, was there before us, and obviously this is one of the ones that he found down there. So Polydor, that's from 1974. I got the three of these I got for €20, so which works out at what, just slightly over €6 each, I think. Maybe $6.50 each. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not very good at maths, but 3 of them for €20 I think was pretty good. What? Oh yes. Slightly cheaper was my next find, which only cost me €5, and this is Peter Hammill. Peter Hammill from Van der Graaf Generator. I've been looking out for his solo stuff for quite a while. I have quite a bit of stuff by Van der Graaf Generator, but up to now have never been able to find any of his solo albums. So this is In Camera from 1974. On the Charisma Mad Hatter label. Yeah, this is an incredible album. It kind of reminds me a bit of Eno's early solo albums. There's one incredible track at the end, Magog, which is kind of music concrete almost. Very reminded me a lot of early industrial music like Nurse and Wound. So 1974, a very, very, very interesting album, and it only cost me €5. So I found it in a local flea market. 2 items, one of them second hand, one new, which I got in my local kind of independent record store. Went in there to have a browse, and I found something which I've been looking to get for quite a while, and that is Bish Bosh by Scott Walker. This came out in, I think, 2012, so this is clearly repressed. I had this in my sights on Discogs, but thankfully this has saved me postage. So a double album, kind of in the line of the album he did with the one he did with oh shit, I just can't forget. It'll come to me. Very experimental, very challenging work from Scott Walker, who, you know, is releasing some incredible challenging stuff in the last few years. The other item I got there was secondhand. I noticed they had some new secondhand stuff in, so I had a browse through it and came across this. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Kicking Against the Pricks, from 1986. I think the third album with Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. So this is on Mute. It's an original original UK pressing. It consists entirely of cover versions. Basically, kind of it's kind of a love letter to Nick Cave's kind of influences when he was growing up. There's a cover of it covers everything from Johnny Cash to an incredible Alex Harvey band to Glenn Campbell. Yeah, a lot of people don't like this album, but I've always liked it, and I'm very glad now to own an original copy on vinyl, which it costs what, €15 I got it for. Okay, just two more quick items. Picked up this by the Orb. This is a 12-inch from 1992. It's called Orb the Blue Room. It consists of two long extended tracks, and this includes Ja Wobble and Steve Hillage. So there's a bit combined, you know, kind of 90s ambient with kind of old school pioneers. So this is a nice find as well. I'm going to finish up with kind of an unusual item which I found in a charity shop yesterday. Again, we're kind of going back to folk, Irish folk again. This is called Songs of Sadness, Heirs of Progress, and this is an item which was released on the Gail Lynn label in conjunction with a piping firm, a pipe manufacturing firm called Waven. This is actually a promotional album. It's basically, as you can see here, it's kind of promoting their products, these piping products, but it doesn't give an exact year of release, but I think it's probably mid-70s. There's an interesting lineup on this. The disc. Now, this includes some tracks by a band called Scarabray, and now I have their album, which is very rare, their self-titled album. All the tracks on this actually come from that album. Very hard to find, and like this would work. Well, I mean, I already have those tracks, but really kind of the inclusion of those tracks make this worth kind of grabbing alone. The rest of the stuff on here is the RTE Light Orchestra, RTE or National TV station here, so it's kind of slightly cheesy, kind of light orchestral pieces. The other tracks are by a man called Sean O'Shea, who was heavily involved with Sean O Riada, who I showed earlier. Sean O'Shea, he's from my neck of the woods actually. So there's a few songs on here by him. So it's a bit of an unusual item. It turns out it's quite rare. A couple of copies have sold on eBay for up to around €40. So, and I got it in a charity shop for €3. Now the sleeve isn't in great condition. There's a bit of mildew and kind of bits falling off, but the disc itself is perfect. Okay, so we're at half an hour. Better leave it at that. Thanks very much for watching, everybody, and a big massive shout out to everybody in the VC, and everybody have a great weekend.